Episode number 101, start of season 3, and we're talking about some resignations. Pitt's athletic department informed head coach of swimming and diving, Division I Pitt Panthers, Chase Kreitler, that swimming and diving would be moving in a different strategic direction after the 2026-2027 season. Head coach abruptly resigned. Chase had been leading Pitt for 4 seasons. He wrote, quote, "I was recently informed that the department intends to move in a different strategic direction after the 2026-2027 season. While I was offered an opportunity to coach one more year, I do not believe I could operate in integrity and continuing to recruit transfers and incoming student athletes knowing I would not be part of their journey beyond next season. And this decision is rooted in my responsibility to the young people in our program and the values we have built this team around." Then he goes on to write, "I remain incredibly proud of what our student athletes, coaches, staff have accomplished together." And another person wrote, "You don't have to cut a program overnight to dismantle it. You can reduce support, create instability, and force it to unravel from within." And that was from an athlete's statement responding to the resignation. Coach's letter didn't criticize Pitt administrators directly. Instead, Coach CK focused on the athletes and the work they invest in the program. He wrote that the swimmers and divers deserve clarity about the future of the team. After the letter became public, several Pitt athletes released statements questioning the direction of the program under Athletic Director Alan Greene. They met with Greene and, quote, left with no real answers. Within days, a number of the swimmers entered the NCAA transfer portal, citing the recent events surrounding the program.
What is about to be said is purely my opinion and my speculation. It's not representative of anybody else's views or opinions. But I'm not usually one to talk about swim news. But the recent news on Chase Kreitler resigning from the head coaching position at the University of Pittsburgh really hurts me and hits close to home, because to me that this is just another step that Alan Greene is doing to basically suffocate resources out of non-revenue generating sports and the whole general well-being of other student athletes of those sports. For some context, I was a recipient of the Carson Graduate Fellowship Award, a scholarship that Pitt Athletics funds for student athletes to get their graduate school funded for. So for me, I had my entire graduate master's degrees fully paid for by Pitt Athletics. There are also partial scholarships that they hand out as well, so it's not just me who benefits from this, and this has been a program for at least over a decade. This program signaled to me that Pitt Athletics cared about their student athletes as people, their education, and not just the performance on the field or the water or like budget constraints. And they cared about their ongoing education, like post-athletic careers. So this scholarship program was basically cut right away when Alan Greene came as head athletic director at Pitt. And it just showed that he does not care about the student athlete's experience or the continuing education and just sees them as net positive or negative revenue. And this recent news is what I believe is just another step in his reoccurring pattern to funnel money into revenue generating sports and not caring about any other student athletes and their experience. I don't really have a call to action. I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts because I'm very disappointed in Pitt Athletics and Alan Greene in their decision to move Pitt swimming and diving in a different strategical direction, whatever that means. But my heart really sinks for the current student athletes and future student athletes at Pitt. While I think swimming needs to do a better job generating revenue and marketing itself, this is also just a lazy way of saving money in the view of Pitt Athletics and athletic departments in general. And instead of just working through a way to make things better, they just decide to take the easy way out and ruin people's lives.
Yeah, this is really bad. I love Pitt and I hate Pitt. Chase is an exceptional coach, and he was a treasure to have here in my city, in Pittsburgh. And everybody's nervous, and they really set the program back 30 years. I do remember the times when Pitt had some fabulous swimmers, national caliber, some great teams. Here's a summary with the help of an AI voice.
As current and recent University of Pittsburgh swim and dive athletes, we want to be clear that this reflects our own experiences, opinions, and beliefs. Pitt's swimming and diving team has been instrumental in shaping who we are, both as athletes and as people. It laid the foundation for our futures, and we want that same opportunity to exist for every athlete who comes after us. We are speaking up because we care about the longevity of this program and what it stands for. What Chase Kreitler built at Pitt was historic. Record-breaking performances, All-Americans, and a culture that elevated this program in every way. He created a team that was proud to represent Pitt and committed to excellence in the pool, the classroom, and beyond. Many of us came here because of that vision, and we've spent years buying into it, trusting it, and helping build it. He cared about us, not just as athletes, but as people. He built a culture rooted in integrity, gratitude, accountability, and respect. That's why this matters so much. And yet, we sat in a meeting with Alan Greene and left with no real answers. We were told this decision was about leadership and fit, but given no specifics. We were told there was intent to fund the program, but no commitment to maintaining the level of support that made this success possible. At the same time, we've heard a desire for a more holistic approach, yet what Chase built was one of the most holistic programs in college athletics, balancing elite performance, academics, and genuine athlete development. In that same conversation, blame was shifted onto Chase for communicating with athletes, and narratives were created that do not reflect the experience of those who have actually been part of this program. Let's be honest about what that means. Uncertainty like this doesn't just impact a coach, it impacts every athlete. It takes away stability, trust, and the ability to keep progressing at the level we've worked for. We believe it creates an environment where athletes are forced to question whether they can continue to develop here. You don't have to cut a program overnight to dismantle it. You can reduce support, create instability, and force it to unravel from within. And we feel it's impossible to ignore what this reflects. A system of class-based discrimination within college athletics, where certain sports are prioritized and resourced, while others are expected to succeed without the same level of institutional support, even at a time of historic success. At a time when the House versus NCAA settlement is reshaping college athletics, it's hard to ignore the irony. A swimmer helped drive that conversation forward, yet Olympic sports like ours continue to be the ones facing instability and reduced support. So what message does this send? That even historic success isn't enough? That Olympic sports are only valued when it's convenient? That the standard isn't excellence, it's revenue. This isn't just about Pitt. This is about the future of college swimming and Olympic sports. If you care about Olympic sports and the future of college athletics, be vocal. Help protect what has given so many of us so much.
Here's today's fortune statement.
When you start to observe yourself, then you start to control yourself.
Sit with that for a moment.
When you start to observe yourself, then you start to control yourself.
This isn't something to rush past. It's a thought to carry with you until our next episode. Ask yourself where this shows up in your training, your coaching, or your daily life. Then take it one step further. Open a journal and write honestly about what it means to you right now. This fortune statement comes from the book Mental Skills for Young Athletes, written by sports psychologist John Hogg, PhD from British Columbia, Canada. The book and the companion online course are available at swimisca.com. Strong performance doesn't start with talent, it starts with awareness, and awareness starts with one good thought at a time.
Well, I wish Pitt would understand that you can't tarp your way to greatness, because that's what it wishes to do or it's going to do, on the north side stadium by putting tarps over a bunch of seats for the football team. It's terrible. Now, that's really what got me involved in politics in the first place, when they were going to dismantle the University of Pittsburgh's football stadium right there in the heart of Oakland. Bad choice. I told people then, I got involved. Having a practice facility off campus was bad too. Oh well, I'm getting sick and tired of people in power making boneheaded decisions when it comes to our youth in sport, and learning how to play well with others is getting to be a fleeting opportunity. Okay, let's listen to another resignation from another great coach. This coach leads the water polo team in Serbia.
Serbian water polo has been rocked by a sudden resignation at the very top. Juroš Števanović, the head coach who guided Serbia to Olympic gold in Paris in 2024 and a European Championship title in 2025, has stepped down from the national team in a quiet, significant exit. The timing is fascinating. The successful head coach resignation came just days Slobodan Soro took administrative leadership of the Serbian Water Polo Federation. Soro announced major reforms, including a policy that national team coaches should no longer coach club teams at the same time. Števanović currently also coaches Radnički Kragujevac, one of Serbia's top clubs. Coach's resignation statement said the visions for Serbian water polo had become, quote, significantly different, unquote. Coach also said he wanted to protect his players from public controversy and criticism after comments from Federation leadership appeared to downplay the team's recent championship success. Power, direction, culture, reform. The changing philosophy is interesting as it is inside the most dominant water polo teams and nations in history. Coach had a remarkable run with an Olympic gold, European gold, and a World Championship fourth-place finish in just 3 years as head coach. He praised the players, calling them true champions, and said he would not engage in public arguments or media battles going forward. Serbia faces a major transition. Multiple candidates are being considered. Coaches everywhere, not just in water polo, take note. When leadership changes, philosophies shift. Winning sometimes isn't enough. And even championship programs can become unstable when governance, politics, and vision are not on the same page. This is not just a Serbian water polo upheaval. It's a reminder that sport pressure can impact matters beyond the waters of the pool.
3 last little blurbs before we wrap up this episode 101. Here's a picture of some of our kids in UPrep at a summer camp. It was swim and water polo. We'll be talking about water polo with the NISCA National Convention. It's the National Interscholastic Coaches Association. We're going to be meeting up in June in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm going to be speaking. So I would love for you to join us, and we'll have some roundtable discussions and talk water polo with the high school coaches. Plus, everybody's invited to check out the altitude swim camp that Steve Friederang is going to hold in Northern Arizona University. That'll also be in June.